My name is Dorah. I am 26 years old. I graduate from LDC. I graduated way back in 2017 with a lot of expectations. Expectation from me and also my parents and my siblings at home. Everyone was so excited that, Adocha's graduated. Now she's going to get a white-collar job and take care of everyone at home. But to all our dismay, things did not turn out the way everyone was expecting. Because I remember out of that expectation, when I graduated, I decided to stay back in Kampala and look for a job to meet all these expectations. But things did not turn out the way it was supposed to be. I remember when we were still in school, we had we had a discussion group that we used to sit in every evening. And we had one of us who was a senior. He used to sit with us in a discussion. And this guy used to assure us of getting jobs because it was like he had connections with people in high profiles, people with high profiles, big law firms. So it was like, you guys, when you graduate, you stay around. Anyone who wants to work in a law firm, you can what? You can contact me. I will lead you to a law firm. So we stayed back. I was with a friend of mine. She was my roommate. We stayed back, all of us now, expecting this guy to make his promise to us. So we stayed back in Kampala. At first, we started to look for those jobs by ourselves because during our first weeks after the graduation, we tried to contact him. But this guy could not pick our calls. Sometimes his phone could be off. So now we said that we already assured our parents that we are hunting for jobs here and we are sure about the jobs. What should we do? I think we should start going on our own. Let's leave this guy out of our things because we had already prepared our applications for legal assistance in the law firms, but the applications remain in the hostel because the person who was supposed to forward those applications where they were supposed to go was not responding. So that one for the formal sector closed. So we say now we are supposed to survive in Kampala. Meanwhile, back home, we are calling our parents, deceiving them. Oh, we are assuring us for jobs. Please send me money for upkeep, like that. You know, when you know you're lying, and sometimes you know your background at home. You even feel bad when you're lying to your parents sometimes. So from there, from looking for the job from the law firm, we started to go to the bus companies. So we went to Namaiba, bus companies. They could tell us that, hey, you drop your application. Sometimes they could even say, you people, these jobs are not for you. You cannot manage these jobs. The idea of looking for the job from the bus companies came because we had a certain friend of ours who was also working with one of the bus companies as should I say a conductor or a conductor. So we thought we could also do that same work. So we could leave, they could just say, I think they could say that just to chase us away so that we could not be bothering them because they already told us to our faces, these jobs are not for you. You graduates, when you're given such jobs out of your occupations, you cannot do things the way you're supposed to do it, like that. So we waited for them they could say, you drop your application, we shall call you. But we could wait for their calls in vain. So we had neighbors in our hostels. We could see them waking up, going away and coming back, and then we said, let us ask someone so that they could show us somewhere where we can do any work now. So one lady told us that, you go to that side of Kawanda. You will get jobs there. There are jobs there. People go there even if they have not registered. So for us, we thought maybe when we go with our papers, our applications written already, we would go and get the jobs. But she said, for you to reach there and find what you want, you should wake up very early. So one morning we woke up very early with our applications. We prepared our applications in the night, and we woke up very early. Okay, to us it was very early. But when we reached there, we were very late. We reached there at 7 sharp. But now the gates were already closed. Other people were outside. We were like, eh, what are these people doing outside here? We asked them and they said, ah, they've already selected those ones to work. And they were like, and what are the papers doing with you? What have you come to do with those papers? We were like, ah, for us we are graduates. What we have come to search for jobs. Those women laughed. And they said the only available jobs here, the only way we do interviews here is you come with your winnower. Those are the only available jobs here. To come and winnow sunflowers, because there are factories. That side there was a factory of sunflower and also for brewing. So, listening to those women, we stood there. So, in fact, we were speechless. We had we had no words for each other. Remember, we got our disappointment at 7:30. And then well, we stood there, we stood for a moment of silence for like 5 minutes. And we just sat down at that very gate, that very spot, quiet. We sat quiet like for 30 minutes. And now we just started banging our KBs. My friend started to say, ah, let us just start going to knock on people's gate anyhow and start asking for jobs. And we were like, eh, so this is what it looks like. So anyway, let us be moving around. We will have stories to tell our children in future. So we sat at that gate like for about 3.5 hours. You can imagine we left there at 10, just seated doing nothing because we had nowhere to begin from. We were thinking of, where should we start from? So we left there at 10:30 and started trekking back, just moving anyhow now, aimlessly. You don't know where you're going. So we moved, we wandered up to around 4. We were moving on foot. Just there, just banging our own KBs and laughing at each other, laughing at our disappointments. So we moved up to around 4 and we took a taxi now at around 4 to take us back to hostel. So that day we went back to the hostel and we slept. In fact, that day we slept up to midday for the next day. And we woke up wondering what are we supposed to do, what should we do. The other friend of mine, for her, she had this business mind. For her, I think she used to think ahead. She was thinking of, I think we should start a business, start buying things from here and taking to later, buying these chiffon tops from old taxi park there at 2000, and bring them to Lira and we start selling. We also come and start selling at our by there, start shouting that akaga, akaga, lukumi, lukumi. No, I could look at my friend. In fact, I was very annoyed with her. When she's telling all those things of akaga, akaga, lukumi, lukumi, we should. So I could be looking at this friend of mine. I was like, is this girl going crazy? What is wrong with this girl? Anyway, I could not tell her that I don't like this idea of yours. I could just keep quiet and I say, let this stupid person be mumbling on her own like that. Maybe she will do it. So there was this friend of mine who was working in West Nile. She called me and said, Docha, I went to your home in Lira and they told me that you're still in Kampala. I thought you had graduated like 3 weeks ago. What are you still doing in Kampala? I was like, Abeba, for me, I'm looking for a job. Abeba laughed. She said, Docha, even people who have masters are not getting jobs in Kampala. And you with your diploma, do you think you can get any job in Kampala? And first of all, life in Kampala the cost of living in Kampala is so high. Even if you get a job, the kind of job you're going to get will not even be able to sustain you with the kind of lifestyle you have. You're so extravagant. You cannot, because let us say if you get a job of 400,000, how will that job maintain you there? Renting, transport, you have to feed yourself, you have to put on nice clothes, what. Just come to West Nile here and search for a job from here. I was like, if that is the case, I think I will go back to Lira. She said, no, if you go back home, you will not get a job. In fact, that is how I got a job. For me, I just finished and I came back and I traveled to West Nile with my friends. And all of us are working, and one of us even is already working in South Sudan right now. She's doing very well. You come and join me. I was like, Abeba, but no, I don't have any money on me. You know, I've not been working, so how will I sustain myself there? Because if I tell my dad about this idea, he will never accept it. Abeba was like, no, we are going to lie to him. We'll tell him that you got a job. For me, I also lied to my dad that I got a job this side. But even when I came, I had no job. Just came and started doing my own things, and I got the job. And I said, it's okay, let me first go back to Lira. But I was not so sure about Abeba. So I took my things from Kampala and packed back to Lira. That time, my friend was preparing for her marriage. So she came, after her marriage, she came and convinced my dad. Because my dad listens to her because he thinks she inspires me a lot. So he talked to my dad because I said, if I'm to tell my dad on my own, that one is going to be a no, even before I finish telling him. So it was Abeba who convinced my dad, and my dad said, it is okay, you go. In fact, she did not even tell him that I now have a job there. She just told him that, let her daughter come and stay with me. For me, I'm already working. Let her come and look for a job. So from there, we packed my things and we left for Yumbe. When we reached Yumbe, Baba told me, you keep on applying. I will keep on sending you applications. For me now, I went there thinking that Baba was just going to be talking to our people, and I start working straight away. But she was like, don't you think lobbying is easy? Lobbying is not easy. It is not easy at all. You also apply, and maybe I just talk on your behalf like that, like that. We tried that like for a month, and things were not okay. My mom could call. My mom would give me pressure. She would say, Adoch, have you got a job ready? I'm like, mommy, no. So you have now turned into a house girl, eh? You have now turned into your friend's house girl. Just come back home here. I was like, ma, you wait. For me, I will get a job. You be patient. So that 1 month passed, and Abebe came with this idea that, Docha, I think as you look for a job, I should maybe pay for you something like you practice to paint nails or plait hair, or I pay for you tailoring so that you be doing. I kept quiet. She looked at me in disappointment. But within me, I was saying, no, this girl, what has she brought me here for? She thinks that she can bring me and mistreat me and start telling me nonsense as if I did not also go to school and sat in class like her. What is wrong with this girl? That was within me. I kept quiet. That was on the first day of telling me that. Then on the second day, she came back and she said, you're still quiet. What is the answer of what I told you yesterday? I told her I will think about it. Then on the third day, she again came and said, by the way, you start making mandazis and bring to my office and you sell to my colleagues. You will get new people there. You mix with them, you chat with them. I was like, I don't know what is wrong with this girl. If this girl didn't want to help me, she should not have brought me here. I even posted on my WhatsApp status. I was like, the reason as to why I still remember what I wrote, but not very well. I was like, the reason as to why I don't like taking favors from people is that they keep on reminding you that they are helping you. Abeba saw my status and she kept quiet. But I thought about Abeba so far for like a week. Then the next week I started making the mandazis because she gave me, I told her that, now where will I get capital from? She gave me 16,000 to buy the baking flour, sugar, and charcoal, and there was cooking oil already. She told me that you use the cooking oil. There was a 5-liter jerrycan. There was cooking oil full inside. She said, you use the cooking oil, but then you're going to buy for me my cooking oil when you get the money after selling. So, but first, before I decided to to bake the bread, I went. There were some friends. There were some two boys there also. They had also gone to West Nile to look for a job. But one person was already volunteering with the World Vision. So I told these boys, I said, no, you see this friend of mine, the way some people can wiseacre, because now today she's working, and for me I'm not working, she thinks she can toast me anyhow. Can you imagine? She's telling me to go and start practicing, to go and start learning tailoring, or even doing hairdressing. And those boys were like, that friend of yours, don't you think she brought you here to mock you? You don't accept that offer. Just go tell her you don't want. In fact, start looking for a house to rent. I even started to look for a grass thatch house to rent, but I did not get. So when I came back, I even started making the mandazis, taking to our office to sell, because I thought of, no, I think I should buy this Abeba's idea, because now asking for money from her all the time, Beba, give me money, I want to buy this, give me money, I want to buy maybe my lotion, I want to do this with money. So I said, let me just do it. So I started baking the bread. When my mom heard that I was baking the bread, she fumed and she shouted at me on phone. She was like, Adoj, is that why we paid you in school? Huh? If you're not getting a job there, come back home here. Do you think from home here feeding you will defeat us? For her, she filmed already. Even my dad was not happy. I could hear from his voice, but he was protecting my emotions. He could not tell me directly. He was fearing that he was going to hurt me. If he showed me that he was angry, he just told me that, don't mind your mother. As long as whatever you're doing will lead you somewhere, it is okay. Just continue with what you're doing. You know your mother loves drama so much.
Mandazi?
Yeah, I continued baking the
You're
bread.
making mandazi,
And
Dorah.
Abeba now started telling me, Dorah, I think you...
A graduate making mandazi? Eh? Why don't you come back home? Why don't you come back? Dorah, oh, you come back. Do you think I can fail to feed you?
Abeba told me that, Docha, I think you should now first go back to Lira. And maybe you wait, there is this new project that is going to come. When it comes, I will call you. I thought, this girl is tired of me, she's chasing me. I said, it's okay, let me go back home. I went back home and I was sad. I was very sad because, okay, I was not sad that I was going back home. I was sad because when I left to go to Yumbe, in fact, a news spread in the neighborhood that Adocha is now working. And I was like, for how long will I stay home? If I stay home for long when I'm not working, neighbors will start gossiping that, she lost her job. What? Now that people have taken their children to school, are the children not coming back to stay home with us here also? So that was why I was annoyed. I was very sad. I even thought of, maybe I should look for another location where I should go instead of going back home where the neighbors know me, they know this is one girl who has been very brilliant. They saw I was growing up. They saw me going to school and completing school. So, but I came back home. I had no choice because I had nowhere else to go. So I came back home. But after a week, my friend called me and said, the project is ready now. You can come back and start working. But I don't know if she will accept to go and work in the remoteness, because that place is in a very deep village that you've never seen in your life. And for you to come here, you'll have to shave your hair because there are no salons there for you who likes blow drying your hair all the time. And you will have to accept to come and dress like a village woman. But I was like, as long as it is a job, let me come and do. At first I wanted to refuse, but my dad said, you go and work.
I think I will have to call Adocha back. This project has been approved. I don't know how she's doing in the village. I hope it's being recorded. Adocha.
Yes, Milika.
I've just called you that you have to pack your things and you come back. This other new project that I was telling you about has been approved. But I don't know whether you will really accept to bear with the village settings, because you're going to be based up to some place called Madokolo, a new district. They're going to pay you. They're going to pay you 400,000, but you have to shave off your hair. You have to be ready to dress like a village person, because that is a rural settings. You will be teaching school children. Actually, it is a community school you will be teaching in. Okay. So, just organize yourself, even if you can come tomorrow. It is starting on Monday. Yeah. Fine then.
So I had to cut my hair and go there because I wanted to work. So I went there. Life there was so hard, but I had to adopt because now what I've been looking for, I was getting. So that project was supposed to run for 3 years. They employed me as a primary school teacher. That school is called Agombususu Primary School in Madiokolo district. By that time I was joining it, it was in Arua district, but they gave it a new district called Madiokolo. So I taught there for 1 year. I was teaching English because, I was teaching English, P5, P6, and P7. So I taught there for 1 year. I'd even now planned that in these 3 years, if I'm still in this job, I will have saved enough to take me back to school again. Because there I was looking at, I even have no responsibilities, just me alone. So I'm going to save money now. I have to hold this one very well. So I worked there for a year. Then in the second year, they called us back. We worked for 2 weeks without the contracts. When we were supposed to sign the contracts, they brought me back again. That the project manager, that changed the project manager. I said, for you, you are overqualified for the job. We're not going to give you the job because if you continue to do this job, we will also get problems with Ministry of Education. I was so disappointed. In fact, I wanted the ground to swallow me because and my head was very heavy. I was like, no, from here, where will I go? How will I start? What will I do from here? Starting to look for a job again. I was like, I don't know. I called my dad when I was crying. My dad, he was also sad because somehow I was also helping at home. But now to make me strong, he did not show. But I just heard from his tone over the phone. He was like, Adocha, if that is the case, just pack your things and come back home. You don't know what God has in store for you. Don't even, in fact, don't even waste time there. Just pack your things and come back home. I cried the whole of that night, even wanted me to leave that evening because it was around 4. But now from there, I was not going to get a vehicle. From there, when you're getting a vehicle to go to town, you have to wake up at 2. And the vehicle will leave the place at 3 a.m. So I had to spend the night, but I remember crying the whole night. When I was in the vehicle, I was even sad. In fact, I did not enjoy my journey. Came back home, just shattered. I was just so empty. In fact, I was so cold. When I reached Lira, my dad welcomed me. He wanted to cheer me up, just deceiving me with things like taking me out, we go for a drink, We go here, we go for a walk in the evening, deceiving me with stories, wanting me to laugh, but I could not laugh. But I knew he was doing all that so that it could bring me in the mood. I could become lively again. But I stayed like that like for a week or two. Then I remember that when I was working there, I even used to go to some woman's salon because from there I used to work and stop at 3. So from 3 I was very bored. I didn't know the language. I said, let me go and skill myself. So I remember that, kumbe I had a skill in saloon work. I think I should try. Though I'd been plating on the doll, let me try doing this. So I started calling my friends. My friends never trusted that I could go and learn saloon work. They say, Adoch, what happened to you? The whole of you going to learn saloon work. I said, my dear, sometimes life forces us to do certain things that we thought we would not be able to do. But here I am. I can do it. Let me plait your hair. My friends did not trust me with their hair. They could take their hair to the salon. In fact, I got my customers from strangers. I started my salon mobile. I could just move to one's place because I had nothing on me, no money, nothing. I said, I think I have to open a salon. I just said, what do I need to open a salon? I already have the skill in my hand. So I think I just need a hand dryer. That's the most important thing in a salon, and a mirror and money for rent. Yeah, I started plaiting people's hair. I plait and go and pay for the dryer. Today I plait for 15,000. I go and pay 10,000 at St. Christopher's Arcade. I could pay there. I paid on. I bought the dryer on 4 installments. Then for the mirror, I was in some cash round that I could pay 2,000 every day. I paid that money like for a month. Then I got my mirror and I had some balance left for the house rent. And I borrowed some money from my elder brother. Gave me some money. I bought a 5-liter jerrycan of 5-liter jerrycan of shampoo and those air foods and 5 braids that I could hang on my salon. So I started staying there. There was this friend of mine that side of Uruba. She assisted me to get the room because for her she stays in that area. She got for me the room and we started staying in that salon. She's also a lawyer. Started plaiting there with her, but I was not happy. I still wanted my white collar job. In fact, I was not taking that salon work seriously at all. I was just there that, I'm just passing time here. If anyone comes, I don't want anyone that knows me to know that I was doing the salon work for survival. I just wanted them to know that I'm only passing time here. And that is what I could tell them. I say, I'm passing time here. I'm passing time with this salon work. They're going to call me back for my job. Like that, I kept on saying that, like that. Then, this opportunity, there was someone I already knew, this organization, they advertised they wanted to mentor some young adults who were innovative. So I saw myself in that space of being innovative. But when I was doing that salon work, I didn't see it as if I was innovative. But now when that opportunity came, I saw it as an opportunity for me. Maybe if I go into that mentorship, I would get what I want. So I wrote an application and they called me. Went for that mentorship, and that mentorship led into the research project that I'm working in right now. Yeah, so I started, after that mentorship, I started working as a research assistant rather, this project. So as I worked, because I was looking at, I realized that whatever I was doing in that salon really pushed me. It was very important. And I even beat myself for not taking it seriously, for not loving it. Because in this research exposed me in a way that I met people, my informants, who could tell a similar story like the one I'm telling right now. And I could see that whatever they are doing, they were doing it with passion. Some of them were doing it with passion. And some were hating it like the way I was also hating mine. And also the colleagues that I was working with, their stories are similar with mine. So I realized that even if I'm not to have, right now, even if I'm not to have a job that pays me monthly, trust me, I'm going to survive. Outside there, I'm going to survive. By being innovative, whether going back into the salon business or doing any other business, doing any other thing, as long as it is pushing me forward.